Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hawks Latest, your number one source for news, updates, rumors, opinions, and you guessed it, the latest and the greatest regarding the Atlanta Hawks. I'm your host, Zach Langley, aka Langley ATL, and today we've got a packed video. We're going to be diving into Atlanta's 2025 Summer League roster. Summer League is quickly approaching, and the Atlanta Hawks have officially announced several things when it comes to that, so we're going to break it all down here. We're going to break down their schedule for the Las Vegas Summer League and really discuss how far they could potentially go, and we're going to talk about what to expect from the next wave of young talent that's going to be on display this summer in Summer League. So then we're going to shift gears to discuss Trae Young's looming contract extension. He's actually eligible to sign this Sunday. So this is approaching very quickly, as well as Summer League. Everything kind of goes fast, like once the draft hits and you're kind of just in the waiting period until next season. We've got Summer League and extensions looming, so we're going to discuss it all here. What kind of deal could be in place for the face of the franchise, Trae Young? It's going to be very interesting to cover. And then finally, we're going to wrap things up with a look at another free agent that Atlanta could bring in as that third big, Chris Boucher. It's a potential value signing who could really help shore up Atlanta's front court depth in a way that not many others can. So without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about how the Hawks officially released their 2025 Summer League roster just yesterday. And it's an intriguing mix of draft picks, returning young players from the Hawks last year, and some under-the-radar prospects hoping to make a name for themselves. Summer League is always a huge opportunity for these unproven players to go in and really prove that they deserve a spot in the big leagues. So a lot of players play with a lot of heart during Summer League because they know that it's their chance, and it's always very entertaining to watch and see who really takes the next step. So here's the full list for the roster for the 2025 NBA 2K Summer League. So at the guard position, the Hawks have Lamont Butler, the two-way guard they just signed as an undrafted free agent out of Kentucky. Nikola Jurisic, last season's second-round pick that didn't get to play much with the Skyhawks last year because he's dealing with an injury, but is looking to this year. Adam Flagler, Kobe Johnson, the brother of Jalen Johnson, who all Hawks fans know as someone they've targeted for a while. Dwight Murray Jr. and Davon Smith. And then another guard is probably the most notable name in all of Summer League this year for the Atlanta Hawks, Kobe Buffkin. So we're finally going to get to see Kobe on the court again. He's fully recovered from the injury he suffered last year in training camp, and so now we're here. Kobe's going to play. And, there's really a lot to look forward to with him because, as I've said in previous videos, and especially the last one, and throughout several reports, the Hawks really believe in Kobe Buffkin. This is someone who is probably going to be a part of the rotation next season, and they're comfortable moving forward with him as their backup ball handler in that second unit. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's really developed over, the course of the past 2 seasons, and really what he can provide to this Summer League team. If he can really ball out, maybe only play him 1 game or 2, get him some reps, and then just get him rested and healthy for not for Summer League, but for training camp, and to eventually finally go into a season where he's fully healthy. That would be great. But it's going to be fun to see Kobe Buffkin in Summer League. Some forwards that are on the roster: Javon Johnson, Nelly Jr. Joseph, Jack McVee, the Hawks' undrafted free agent Eli Ndiaye, Asa Newell, the 23rd overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft that the Hawks obviously traded for in the deal with New Orleans. Jacob Toppin, who was with the ball club last year, was just on a deal for the end of the season, really, but was a two-way, spent some time in College Park and also with the Atlanta Hawks. And then also Jack White. There's one center on the roster. His name is Jake Steffens. Sorry about that. And so basically, it's a pretty loaded roster, and this could be one of the teams that comes away with the Summer League championship. Kobe Buffkin's obviously the headliner, entering his 3rd season with the Hawks and expected to take a leap. Asa Newell, Atlanta's first-round pick this year, is also going to attract a lot of attention, especially given his high defensive ceiling and versatility at the forward spot. Obviously, we're going to be watching closely to see how Nikola Jurisic and Jacob Toppin perform because they both have experience, at least with the team, and that experience from overseas and also with the G League last year, seeing how it grew them as players. It's a deep and versatile group with so much talent on the roster. So expect some strong performances in Vegas. And with that, we're going to talk about the schedule now. So let's take a look. They'll play 4 guaranteed games. It's very similar to previous years in Summer League. It's pretty much the same format, but there are some different things. So it's going to be 4 guaranteed games and potentially more. Every team is actually scheduled to play a 5th game after those 4 games. Whether you advance to the tournament or not, you're always going to play that 5th game. So part of me saying that it was 4 guaranteed games, it's 5. It's beginning on Thursday, July 11th for the Atlanta Hawks. It actually begins tomorrow for the rest of the league. And so obviously potentially more depending on their performance. So here's the lineup. July 11th, they're going to play against the Miami Heat. July 13th, they're going to play against the Phoenix Suns. On July 14th, the day after, they're going to play at the Houston Rockets. And then July 17th, they're going to play at the Memphis Grizzlies. So those are the 4 games that are currently on the schedule. And then all games will be available on the FanDuel Sports Network app, where you streamed your Hawks games last year. I mean, with TV broadcasts on FanDuel Sports Network Southeast, except for July 13th, which it's going to air on FanDuel Sports Network Alternate for obviously DirecTV and Fubo users. So that's really the information that you guys need if you want to tune in and watch. If the Hawks place in the top 4 teams after the first 4 games, then they're going to qualify for the Summer League playoffs, which is going to begin on July 19th. That's when it's scheduled to begin. And then the championship game will take place on Sunday, July 20th at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Even if they don't make the playoffs, which, and like I said, each team is going to be guaranteed a 5th game to be scheduled somewhere between July 18th through 20th. It's an excellent opportunity to see how the rookies and fringe roster players handle these in-game situations and adapt to NBA speed. Summer League is always one of my favorite times of year, and once it gets started, we're going to be breaking it all down here on Hawks Latest, and I'm obviously going to be writing articles and keeping you guys informed on what's going on really in Summer League this year. So now we're going to pivot to a major topic that is obviously very important coming into this offseason, which has been very busy so far. Trae Young becomes extension eligible this Sunday. All signs indicate that a deal will get done sooner rather than later. I certainly expect Trae to sign after all these offseason moves. I mean, this is a pivotal moment, not just for Trae, but for the franchise in general. The Hawks have rebuilt the roster and around his strengths and his weaknesses, and they're really giving him the most complete supporting cast he's ever had going into his age 26 season, where he's really kind of entering his prime. So, I mean, Jalen Johnson and Kristaps Porzingis are going to form an elite big man duo. Dyson Daniels brings some of the best perimeter defense in the NBA, and Zachary Risachet is a deadly shooter who can defend multiple positions and really provides versatility on both ends. So what's wild, actually, is that Trae is the only player on the roster who's under 6'5". So they're really coming through with the vision of just surrounding Trae with a bunch of big dudes that can defend and pass and really open up the floor for his strengths. I mean, it's a clear organizational shift towards length, defense, and switchability. So the likely extension figure for Trae, and the one that he's probably going to sign, is 4 years, $229 million. That is a full max, and honestly, Trae deserves it, just given what he's done for the franchise. And I mean, him staying and not requesting a trade after, the media really pushed for him to leave, and also Atlanta not really building a roster towards his strength. But now that we are, I think he deserves the max, and he can be the focal point going forward. I mean, there's also growing speculation, though. Could Trae take slightly less than the max to help the Hawks maintain flexibility? That is always an option. I mean, he's embraced that leadership role. We all know that he's changed his approach really in the past couple of years, and he's done a great job being the leader of this team. And if he were to leave some money on the table, it could send a powerful message that he's more than all in on contending in Atlanta. I mean, he's already displayed that through his actions this offseason, specifically, obviously recruiting Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Luke Kennard to the team this year, and being the only Hawk in the front row for Asa Newell's rookie press conference. He's all in on Atlanta, but if he takes a little bit of a pay cut, it could really help them in financial flexibility going forward, given that the CBA restricts if you get into that second apron having a certain number of max contracts. So it's something to watch closely in the coming days. I mean, Trae's eligible this Sunday, remember. So obviously, if Trae does sign that extension, we're going to be breaking it down all here. And finally, let's talk free agency. So as you guys all know, free agency has been going on for the past several days now. We're getting close to a week, and Hawks have been very busy. But in the past few days, they haven't really. They got off to a hot start in free agency in that first day, and they signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Luke Kennard and used up most of their money, but they still have some left, and they still have some roster needs. They have 3 open roster spots, and they're going to sign players to fill them up. One name to potentially keep an eye on is Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors. The Hawks obviously still have access to the $5.1 million biannual exception and also the $3 million remaining from their mid-level exception. And Boucher could be the ideal target for it, just based off of what he brings. So he's now 32 years old, and Boucher has spent obviously the last 7 seasons in Toronto. He was a big he's not really a huge contributor to, the team success that they've had in previous years, but he's still a very valuable depth piece that could fit really anywhere. He's not the elite shot blocker he once was, but he still makes an impact on both ends of the floor. I mean, last season he hit 36% from threes on high volume. To be exact, I mean, he's really someone who could contribute as a stretch big in today's NBA. He has shown that he can, and with what Atlanta's building, this is someone who would really fit into the mold. That kind of floor spacing from a player who can play the 5 and the 4 is rare. There aren't many true stretch bigs, and Atlanta has one of them, obviously, in Porzingis. And it fits Atlanta's, like I said, it fits their front court philosophy. Now that the Hawks have invested in Porzingis, a proven stretch 5, and we know they've been developing Onyeka Okongwu into a shooter as well. Every single season, he's made big improvements on his beyond the arc shooting, and I expect that to continue next year as he goes into a pivotal year. We don't know if he's going to start or not. If I had to bet on it, he would start next year, and Porzingis would come off the bench. But obviously, there's varying opinions there. Boucher also excels on the offensive glass. He was in the 88th percentile in on-off offensive rebounding impact in 4 of his last 6 seasons, according to Cleaning the Glass. So very impactful player on both ends. Defensively, he has a great block rate. He's consistently altered shots at the rim. Even if he's not quite the rim protector that he has been, he's lost a step or two, but he's still a very impactful player. Given the injury history of guys like Porzingis or even Okongwu, having a reliable veteran third big like Boucher who has winning experience makes a lot of sense. Just really fits into the culture we're trying to build here in Atlanta. If there's a competition for his services, using the full biannual exception, the $5 million, might be the only way to land him. The market for him isn't super strong right now, so maybe we can do a little under that and then sign 2 more guys for like $2 or $3 million more dollars. So it's something to keep an eye out on, and I really think he would be a good fit here in Atlanta. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Hawks Latest. Short and sweet. Let me know in the comments, who are you most excited to see in Summer League, and why is it Kobe Buffkin? Would you offer Boucher the biannual, and what do you think Trae's extension should look like? Is he deserving of the full max? I personally think he is, given what he's done for Atlanta in just 7 seasons here. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single update here on Hawks Latest. We're going to be pumping out videos every single day, keeping you guys informed and updated on the latest and the greatest regarding the Atlanta Hawks. So thank you guys for watching. Once again, I'm Zach Langley, aka Langley ATL, and I'll see you guys next time.